for sports.
The skyline of Indianapolis, Indiana. They've been wonderful hosts, rolling out a huge red carpet. We can't thank them enough. Inside, the drum, pounding the tom-toms at Lucas Oil Stadium for the Giants and the Patriots and their fans. Fans of football, fans of the G-Men, fans of the P-Men. They're all here at Indy, waiting for Super Bowl 46. And for the next 4 hours, we got you covered on Super Bowl Sunday NFL Countdown.
However impressive are printed pages, or the hall within which a great book resides, words can only recall deeds, and pictures inspire memories. But the moments recorded here once lived, charged with electricity and joy. These men wrote their own legends on the white lines of football's biggest stage.
John Elway, thank you.
We're going to win the game, I guarantee.
New York Jets are the world champions.
Ever since I was a little bitty boy, I always wanted to be someone special.
Bradshaw, deep first line. That's touch.
Others knew destiny demanded they wear the ring.
Everywhere I go, African Americans come up and say, man, we appreciate what you did.
We played for so much more than just ourselves. We played for our city.
And some of these men rose to a single occasion and into history.
To be able to win MVP is definitely the next level.
And for living so large, in moments that test the mettle of men, a place in football's folklore is reserved for them.
Marcus Allen could be gone.
But this is a story with no end, an ongoing series of adventures, conflicts, and conquering heroes. Some yet to be revealed. Others relishing their return to the game's ultimate proving grounds. Another page will be turned. Another game will be won. And another name will be immortalized in the Super Bowl.
Welcome to a special Super Bowl edition of Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by IBM. Here's your host, Chris Berman.
And good morning, everybody. The Super Bowl for the 46th time with feeling. From America's heartland, Indianapolis, the red carpet rolled out in true Midwestern hospitality style. A much-anticipated rematch of one of the most memorable Super Bowls ever, Super Bowl 42. The New England Patriots meet the New York Giants again. And if it's anything close to the game we had in the toaster at the desert, or anything close to about the Super Bowls we've had the last decade plus, we're all in for a treat. Good morning. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. Hope all of us and our cast of thousands provide a treat for you. The next 4 hours, we get ready for what has become a mid-winter national holiday. Our usual cast of characters, of course. TV-wise, football-wise, many here on Countdown. And you know these cast of characters here. We'll talk about their Super Bowl experience. But Chris Carter, great career.
Yep.
Never made it to the Super Bowl. You feel there's something missing, don't you?
Absolutely. When you're around all the players that have played in the Super Bowl, regardless of what you've accomplished as an individual, you always wish that you would make it to this day. So when you never make it to this day, you're always kind of reaching, talking to your friends, talking to Tommy, talking to Coach, talking to Keith, seeing what it's like. And what it really is like is football when you're 8 years old. It boils down to the fundamentals. It's just a bigger game.
Well, hold on. Before we start this great show, Super Sunday, I'm going to go back to yesterday. I'm a little frustrated. I have said for years that I thought that the Hall of Fame selection process is a little bit flawed. Now, that doesn't mean that anybody who's in doesn't deserve to be in. That's not true. But when Chris Carter, Bill Parcells, because I worked with him and I watched his career and I know what Coach Parcells' resume is, when they can't get in, there is something wrong with that process. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know I don't claim to know. But I just have to say that there's something wrong with the process.
Well, hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
You, Andre, Tim Brown, receivers in particular, you're all Hall of Famers, and congratulations, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about the new Hall of Famers. You're all Hall of Famers. For some reason, they ruled you only got 1 foot down. I looked at the video, you got 2 feet in, okay? But they ruled 1. Next year, we go under the hood and see what happens. Congratulations, anyway.
Thank you, boy.
Finalists.
I appreciate Tommy.
And to a Hall of Famer right here, Coach Mike Ditka.
Tommy's right. Tommy's 100% right. It's pretty hard to understand. I don't understand the process, you know. That's late.
Super Bowl for Coach Ditka. He was a player. He was an assistant coach with the Dallas Cowboys, and needless to say, the head coach of the Chicago Bears. 6 Super Bowl appearances. Keyshawn Johnson. 9 years ago, the Bucs. Super Bowl 37. Champs in San Diego over the Raiders. Tom Jackson. Tiny Tom Jackson. 1977 and 1986 Super Bowls 12 and 21, played in 2 with the Denver Broncos. So we have plenty of Super Bowl experience on this set and our other sets as we move along. And so I want to start with you, Coach, because you've experienced it really every level. What is Super Bowl morning like? These players, and what do you remember?
Well, I don't know what the player's going to be like. I know what I was like as a player. I don't want to say scared, but I was like a cat on a hot tin roof. You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to hurt your football team, so you're very nervous about what's going to happen. Now, as a coach, it was totally different. I knew we were prepared, and I knew we had a very good football team. I was very confident. I mean, I felt very sure. The biggest thing with the coach, I couldn't wait to get that morning over and get that game started.
I think the anticipation is always the same. You can't imagine that, you know, look, I'm going to be a world champ by the end of the day. You're not always right, but the morning always starts great. I will say this. Eastern time zone is the longest of days.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you get ready to play the Super Bowl. Be careful what you do with your energy during the course of the day and the build up to that game.
Extremely long day, Boom. I mean, long. I remember waking up, walking in the hallway to see if any of my teammates was out there. Only people was security. Go back in the room, go back out again, then take the long drive from La Jolla down to the Murph Stadium. And Coach said he wasn't scared. I was scared. Believe me, because I didn't want to be the guy to lose the football game, and that it hangs over my head the rest of my career. I just don't want to be that guy.
The thing that I see that's amazing is we have the greatest athletes in the world. They have the best training. They're ready to play. They've gone through all this, and they get to the biggest game, and the one thing they got in common, they don't want to mess up. It just lets you know how big it is.
You know what it is? They wake up, and it's dark.
Yeah.
But before you kick off, it's dark already.
Yes.
You wondered if you missed a game?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think so. We have a bunch of folks who've never missed this game. And Susie Calber, who's been wonderful all year with us here, coming over to our side of the track, Suze. We appreciate everything you've done on this show. I believe you have some folks with you that might have a few Super Bowl memories and may have provided a few memories for many fans out there as well. Good morning.
Good morning and happy Super Bowl Sunday. And the whole idea here is to make everyone feel a part of the game and connect, right? Well, we have 9 Super Bowls and 7 rings here, beginning with Steve Young, a part of 3 Super Bowl winning teams, but his shining moment came in his only Super Bowl start, 29, which capped the 94 season. He set a Super Bowl record by throwing for 6 touchdowns and was named the game's MVP. Trent Dilfer led the Ravens to a 34-7 win over the Giants in Super Bowl 35. He hit Brandon Stokely for the game's first score. The Ravens won their first and only Lombardi Trophy. And Teddy Bruschi, a 5-time Super Bowl veteran who helped the Patriots to 3-point wins in Super Bowls 36, 38, 39. He registered 3 sacks in his 5 Super Bowls. Only Charles Haley has more career sacks in Super Bowl history. Now, it's nice, obviously, for you guys to have multiple Super Bowls, and I'm sure even in victory, you would like to be able to do some things again, but everybody talks about how much experience the Giants and the Patriots have. 19 Giants have Super Bowl experience. 15 played in Super Bowl 42. 10 Patriots have Super Bowl experience. 7 played in Super Bowl 42. For the 80-something guys who have never experienced what they're going to experience today, what would your advice be?
It's going to be an emotional day, so a long day, and you just got to calm down. You know, calm down and realize you've been playing this game since you've been in high school and college, and it's the same thing that's going to win these games. You're going to have to block, you're going to have to tackle, do those fundamental things. you're going to get to the stadium 4 hours before the game. And, you know, you get there, and if it's your first time, you feel like, oh, I got to warm up. I got to get out there and get loose. It's 4 hours before the game. You don't have to do that. I remember being out there so early, looking into the stands and seeing my kids, because they get there early also, pulling them out of the stands and playing with my kids on the field. So it's how you alleviate that pressure, I think, is very important.
I think for the first-timers, Teddy, I don't think there's any way. We can give them all the advice in the world. It's not going to happen. And I don't think they're going to play their best football. They'll finish the day saying, I don't think I played that great. It's the key for me is not the new guys. It's the guys that have been around, especially at quarterback. We have 2 quarterbacks with Super Bowl experience, and they need to know, especially with what we've seen in the playoffs, the last 3 or 4 playoff games, it comes down to the last second, that this game's going to teeter on some mistake that you might make. Don't make it early, because that's when the game gets out of hand. You cannot be the reason why this game gets away from everybody, because if it is, then you're going to regret it, because there's great Super Bowl teams. Quarterbacks have to make sure that they get to the second half without it being you fumbled or thrown a couple interceptions to cost this team.
My advice is for after the game. When you win this game, go back to the locker room. Embrace your teammates, the guys you went on this incredible journey with, and celebrate properly. I got robbed from that. There's a PR mistake, game ends, I get shuttled around the field in Tampa. I get back to my locker, and I'm expecting to see my teammates and celebrate with these guys that I've gone through so much with, and it's a completely empty locker room except for my locker has its stuff.
Don't miss the moment.
Don't miss the moment, right?
I mean, obviously you and Key didn't miss the moments last night because you can't hardly talk.
This game is about celebrating that moment. You better be able to. That's not funny.
You talk about not being that guy. Don't be that guy that comes back the night before the game.
But Trent, don't you think a lot of people would still love the opportunity to miss the celebration? I think that's
but you got to be there. I mean, this is such a journey. You go through so much. You have to be there with your guys. It's one of my deepest regrets of my career, not being able to be in the locker room.
Just make sure you get to touch her. You know, the trophy. You know, they named her Tiffany. You know, just make sure you get to touch her once.
Did you get that,
I did get that.
You know what? It's so easy to say relax. When you get over there and you get in that building and the adrenaline flows, and that's what players say all the time is they think they're going to be able to relax, but they're going so fast they don't even realize it. Everything feels different at a Super Bowl stadium, and that stadium, Lucas Oil, is just a stone's throw away. So for more insight on the game, let's go over to our Monday Night Football crew, led by the voice of Monday Night Football, Mike Tirico. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Suze. Thanks, everyone. Welcome inside Lucas Oil Stadium. Susie hit it right. There's nothing like walking on the field on Super Sunday. What a privilege for us to do that and talk to the people who've really done it. Chris mentioned John Gruden's January 2003. Boom, boom, boom. Super Bowl, baby.
Oh, yeah.
In San Diego as Tampa beat his old team, the Oakland Raiders, and some guy with hair gave him the trophy. And then Jaws in Super Bowl 15 in New Orleans, also going up against the Raiders. It wasn't a winning day, but I don't know if people talk about this, Jaws. 291 passing yards that day. That was a big deal back then before guys threw for 350 and 400 on a regular basis. And great to share Super Bowl morning with my buddies. The message you gave to the team. Reflect on that and remind us what people are going through this morning.
I just said, man, that field out there is the most beautiful big woodshed I've ever seen. I'd take this team to the woodshed and kick their butt. I didn't say it just like that, but I meant it.
You're a little fired up. You know what I remember is a speech from Dick Vermeil on Saturday night before the game. Woody Hayes went first and addressed our football team. You know, we really felt we're going to win the football game. Dick Vermeil gave a passionate speech to our team. He said when he ended his speech, we're coming back here tomorrow night as world champions. Every team believes they're going to win the game. It's a very special moment for everyone.
And Susie pointed out there are a lot of players with this Super Bowl experience and the stories they can share. And all of us will be sharing stories, covering every angle between now and the next 4 hours as we get set for kickoff of Super Bowl 46. Everything here is in place. It's a great venue, one of now 6 to host the Final Four and the Super Bowl. It all happens here at Lucas Oil Stadium. So our coverage continues on the Super Sunday. The real trophy's only 22 inches and 7 pounds. But at some point, the winner's going to pick it up tonight, and it'll feel like it weighs nothing because they'll be on top of the world.
Still ahead on Sunday NFL Countdown, Eli's elusiveness. Introducing Manning the Magician.
I get scared a lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you. It's like, did this guy have like 8 sets of eyes like across his head?
How Eli's awkward elusiveness is leading to giant plays. Coming out as a team.
It was really something that the players wanted to do, and of course, I supported it wholeheartedly because that's who we were.
10 years later, we look at one of the moments that defined their dynasty and the biggest gaffes on the biggest stage.
It's not going to be a touchdown. It's not. It was going to be a 62-yard touchdown. Holy
We reached into the Super Bowl vault to find the plays that made our guys say,
Come on, man.
College basketball doubleheader live on ESPN America. First, the Big East has the Hoyas face up to the high-flying Orange Men. Then it's all about the bragging rights as Duke and North Carolina renew the rivalries. It all starts Wednesday at 0100 CET on ESPN America, the home court of college hoops.
Tom Brady, best quarterback in the league in my opinion.
You have to be smart because you know that the Tom's going to be smart.
He scans the field, he reads everybody, puts the ball in all his receivers' hands.
He takes that snap, you know, he backs up, he examines that coverage, and right away he knows where he's going with the football.
Back to throw, fires open, caught, touchdown! Tom Brady right on the button with that one.
I don't think Tom Brady sets himself apart from any other player that's on the Patriots team. He works just like they do.
He never seems rattled. He's very confident. He knows football. He knows the X's and O's.
To him, it's not about a pay grade. It's about winning championships and winning football games.
To me, Tom Brady epitomizes winning.
What I like about it is they're not afraid to rub it in your face.
Another Patriot touchdown. His New England Patriot team is embarrassing the proud Jets defense.
If you're kicking my butt, kick my butt.
The biggest thing about Tom Brady is he's a competitor. He's a winner.
Sunday NFL Countdown is presented by IBM. Let's build a smarter planet. Visit ibm.com/smarterplanet. And in part by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at jaguarusa.com. And Denny's, America's diner, is always open.
We started at the bottom of the mountain with everybody else, and you know, we're thrilled to be able to get to the top. And that's what this year was about one fight to try to win this Super Bowl and win that trophy.
This team will be very close to each other forever because of this experience. But it's not just the player, it's their family. Their families are world champions as well.
That's why we play, and that's why we work so hard. It's long hours, and we haven't had a day off in 7 months, and it's all for this.
He talked about last night the feeling of winning a championship, and he wanted us to have that feeling. So I talked to him after, he said, that feeling's pretty good, isn't it? I said, you can't beat it. You were right.
Super Bowl 46, the Patriots 13-3, now 15-3, winners of 10 straight against the Giants, 9-7. Now, of course, 12-7, winners of 5 straight. You know the storylines, I think, by now. The same head coaches, Bill Belichick and Tom Coughlin, same quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Eli Manning, that played in that memorable 17-14 Giants upset of the Patriots in Super Bowl 42, stopping New England less than a minute short of a perfect 19-0 season. Yes, from that game, there's just 15 Giants, and there are 7 Patriots who played in it. So it's not really a rematch. It is a rematch, of course, from Week 9, won 24-20 by the G-Men in Foxborough. Also a late win by the Giants. The last game New England has also lost. Brady had a season to remember, throwing for over 5,200 yards, and the postseason, add that in, and it's 5,800 yards and 45 touchdowns. Then again, Eli had a hell of a season too, throwing for over 4,900 yards. Add the postseason, he too, like Brady, 5,800 yards, he had 37 touchdowns. New England scored over 30 points in 13 of its 18 games, but allowed the second most passing yards in the history of pro football. They look a little better now. The Giants gave up more points than they scored in the regular season. You forgot that, didn't you? Were they also ranked dead last in rushing yet? I mean, to use the eyeball test, they surely don't look like that team anymore. How do they look the morning of Super Bowl 46? Ed Werder has the word on the Patriots. Rachel Nichols, if you pardon the pun, has the 5 cents and then some on the Giants. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Boomer. Well, one player used the word goosebumps when telling me about Tom Coughlin's speech in the team meeting last night. Coughlin, of course, talked about finish, and he showed the team a highlight video that included some big hits on Tom Brady. But then I'm told he got very emotional, stressing family, quoting John Wooden, and flatly telling players he loved them and he loved their underdog spirit. Now, it was an unusual scene downstairs. There were a bunch of just regular fans staying at this hotel, and they were walking up to players just as they were trying to get into that focus zone. I saw Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw get absolutely mobbed, and it's getting crowded in there again right now, but GM Jerry Reese told me they are doing a good job trying to keep the players secure and giving them areas to prepare. Now let's go to Ed Werder with the Patriots.
Thanks, Rachel. Coach Bill Belichick addresses his team for the final time here at the team hotel during their full squad meeting that's just begun. The Patriots have been described to me as being a team that's relaxed, confident, and ready to play the game. One of the reasons for that is a belief that Tom Brady will have the receiver who's been most important to him when it comes to scoring touchdowns. Record-setting tight end Rob Gronkowski's high left ankle sprain will not prevent him from playing in Super Bowl 46. In fact, the coaching staff has actually seen him run full speed during the week. The Patriots clearly believe he's one of the players they have to feature if they're going to win. In Week 9 against the Giants, the Patriots used 2 tight ends on 84% of their plays, and both Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez scored touchdowns. From being around the Patriots all week, I would say that Gronkowski's role in this game plan is going to be as much as it can possibly be, Boomer. It could be everything, but it won't be minimal unless he re-injures the ankle. Back to you.
Well, that's certainly item 1 and 1A. Thank you very much, Ed. Well, Super Bowl 42. If it is to be a rematch, Michael Strahan no longer giant, obviously. Tom Brady, Patriots knows about the pass rush. Down 7-3, Strahan hits Brady from behind. Late in the second quarter with the pass by Osi Umenyiora. Recovers the ball, stripped by Justin Tuck. 7-3 at the half. Strahan brings down Brady again 5 times, sacked, many more pressured. 10-7 the Giants in the fourth quarter, 3rd and goal. Brady to Randy Moss. 2:45 to go, 14-10 the Patriots until Eli somehow evades the rush. Jarvis Green and company somehow fires it. David Tyree with Rodney Harrison draped all over him somehow makes the 32-yard catch. Manning, Plexico, final minute, touchdown. 17-14. G-Men win Super Bowl 42. Now, Week 9, Foxborough. Patriots at home. Down 17-13. Brady to Mongo want ball. The Gronker, touchdown, 20-17. Late on 4th and 8, New England. But Eli Manning to Jake Ballard of a thin man, 28 yards. Next play, Eli. Looking like Archie. 12 yards, first down. 19 seconds on 3rd and goal. Manning, Ballard. Giants win again late in the last minute. 24-20. The Giant front four's ability to get to the QB, a very big aspect, obviously, in this game. I chased that story this week.
That's how we like to get out the offenses. If you can rush with 4 down linemen and leave 7 in the back end to confuse quarterbacks, it makes you a little bit more difficult to deal with.
They're flexible, they're athletic, they can be used in a lot of different ways, and that's how we go about it. The pressure, the speed, the variety, the versatility, you know, it all works when we're flying around, when we're able to use these guys.
It's not just 4 guys, it's about 7 of them that they roll through there, and they're very productive. They're big, they're physical, they can run, they can pass rush on the edge, and they can run over people, and they run games well. So the matchups aren't as clean going into the game as they are some weeks, but these guys are very productive wherever they put them.
You know what strikes me, fellas, and we did this on the Swami a little bit, but it's like when we were a lot younger, the old-fashioned front four. Now, I know they rotate more than 4 in, but like the steel curtain or the purple people eaters or the doomsday defense or the fearsome foursome, the pressure comes from the 4 up front. So, question, not from blitzing 18 guys.
Right.
Will the Patriots have an answer today for that, Chris? What do you think?
Well, of course, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, they're going to have an answer. It is the Super Bowl, and they have plenty of time to prepare. But what they're going to do is utilize their no huddle. 130 snaps in no huddle in the postseason. 55% of those guys, they're in a shotgun formation. So look for them to run the football. The last 11 times the New England Patriots have rushed the ball for 25 rushes, they're undefeated. So I look for them to run it out of no huddle, and run it out of shotgun, Tommy.
It's very funny. You said fearsome foursome, and Key was like, huh? Who?
I thought he was looking at my notes.
Look.
Deacon Jones, Key, here's a hint.
The best counter to a pass rush is how quickly you can get rid of the football. There's nobody in football ever been as quick with the ball out of his hand than Tom Brady. And I think 2 seconds is the key. That is the number for him to be successful. All right, take a look here. This is week 9. Ball out, 1.27 seconds. When you see that ball come out, you know his receiver, Wes Welker here, got a chance to make a huge play downfield. Now we're going to be right on the number. 2 seconds, Hernandez. Ball out on the break, a chance to avoid a tackle, yards after catch short, but it ends up in a touchdown. This is what the Giants want to do. Force him to double clutch, ball not out of his hands for 3 seconds, ends up being a turnover for the Giants. Now, I'm going to give people a number here. I don't really even know what it means yet. 7 touchdowns thrown by Tom Brady in 4 Super Bowls for a combined total of 31 yards. It's just something that...
Not 100 yards, not 100 yards.
Not 100 yards. You know, Joe Montana averaged 20 per touchdown. Terry Bradshaw, 36 per touchdown. He averages 4.4 per touchdown. I don't know what it means
I
yet.
know what it means.
I'll let you know.
He's played some good football, but he hadn't played as well in this game.
Interesting. Well, front 4. I mean, this is where the game is, yes?
I think, like Chris said, the no-huddle offense, something that they did against the Baltimore Ravens, I think New England has to continue to do that. If they can continue to do that, spread them out, it will protect the one guy that I've been hearing his name all week long on the offensive line. Look at Tommy. Matt Light. It will protect him because everybody thinks that the tight end is going to protect by chipping and helping him out, but you can't do that. You have to continue to keep them from rotating those 6 or 7 defensive linemen to be successful.
Well, I think they're going to chip. I think they're going to chip with the back. But the thing I see about this football game, confidence plays such a big part in football. I think right now the Giants defense are confident that they can play this offense and hold them down in scoring. If they can hold them down in scoring, they can win this football game. 14 points, 24 points. That's not Patriot-like, believe me.
I think he makes a good point about Matt Light, because I heard O.C. Yermanure earlier in the week. He said Matt Light was sick. Oh, I didn't know that, but I hope he shows up to the game because he's going to miss a good one.
Well, we heard Ed Werder's reporting in Gronk is going to go, and how well he goes as the game goes on. Is it Dwight Freeney, second half, not as good, or is it no problem? And what they do, to your point, quick throws to Wes Welker, Hernandez underneath. If Kevin Falk is a factor, this would be a spot for him. But you mentioned quick release. Maybe the only 2 of the quickest, Joe Namath. Maybe the quickest, Dan Marino. And, Coach, I bring that up not because that's the game plan, and I know the 46 was different. But that one game at the Orange Bowl, I think of how quick the ball came out of their hands, Marino, to offset your defense. And will Brady have to be like that today?
Exactly. I mean, what Danny Marino did to us, he picked us apart in the slot with the slot receiver.
Right.
We played a 46 defense. We didn't have the proper people to cover the slot receiver. He got rid of that ball before our pass rush could get to him.
Getting rid of it quick, a big part of the game. And whatever the game turns out, we got you covered from the field afterwards. NFL prime time when the game is over. We enjoy that. Tommy, Steve, and yours truly on the field with guests of the victors. And when we return, a gentleman who once had both Super Bowl coaches on his staff with the Giants. Bill Parcells joins us in a moment.
It's all about determination, willpower, digging deep, wanting it more. That's heart. NBA tonight, all season long on ESPN America.
Weatherford hits the punt. Williams stays away, and that ball, Devin Thomas, I believe, thought maybe Kyle Williams touched it.
The loose punt hit the 49er player on the knee. The Giants' ball at the 29-yard line where they recovered it.
Manning, end zone, Manningham for the touchdown. 17-yard touchdown, Manningham. Manning stays in the pocket, hits Bradshaw. He was out across the 20, that's it. The ball comes out, a gain of 6, but they're saying the Giants maintain possession. We are going to overtime. Weatherford hits it. Kyle Williams lost the ball. It's recovered by the Giants. Recovered by the Giants already inside field goal range. Low snap. The kick is good. And the Giants are going back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I thought I was an elite quarterback. I think I am.
I still can't watch highlights from that game. You know, I think that's just the way it is.
It's tough to get here, man. It's hard to win these games.
Never quit, never have any doubts. Just keep believing, keep fighting till the very end.
You know, you pinch yourself. It's to get this opportunity. I'm privileged to be a part of an incredible organization.
I'm just excited to be playing at Super Bowl.
Here they are, the national panel.
Today I'm feeling like the bee's knees.
Every day I lose, I die just a little.
Around the Horn is my favorite to do.
Let's go to work.
A great young talent. He is not that popular.
Tell me, they win bad games.
I have a real problem with it because he punched a guy.
Why'd you have to go get Woody all riled up?
Get over it.
I'm fine with it.
Woody and I get awful tired of having to set these youngins straight.
What more could you possibly want? The perfect bobblehead technique.
Going old school.
Here's an extra point for you. How about that? It's not over, it's just beginning.
Don't miss Around the Horn, weekdays on ESPN America.
Welcome back to this special Super Bowl edition of Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by IBM.
As we continue from Indianapolis, Bill Parcells has his fingerprints not only on the Super Bowl trophy of years past, but on this game. A dozen years, Bill Belichick was a Parcells assistant. Tom Coughlin, after he was a receivers coach with the Eagles, became a receivers coach with the Giants. And both Coughlin and Belichick have gone up against each other, knowing each other quite well as they shared 3 years on the same staff, including the Giants staff that won Super Bowl 25 and under their Big Bill's name. Parcells, the head coach, in alphabetical order. Belichick and Coughlin, who the very next year would both leave for head coaching jobs in the NFL with Cleveland and in college for Coughlin with Boston College. And they bring in Bill Parcells to join our Super Bowl conversation, the man who's taken both of these franchises, the Giants and the Patriots, to the Super Bowl. Bill, I know on our Super Bowl Confidential show you had great perspective on what it means to see these two guys who you saw very young play on the ultimate stage for a second time. Take us back there. What did you see in each man when they were young assistant coaches for you?
Well, I think what not many people know is these guys both have a really good sense of humor, Mike. I mean, you can tease them and they'll tease you, and they can take a joke and they can give one just as well. The second thing that was quite apparent to me, they're both very smart and analytical when it comes to football evaluation. They understand what their program's about, and very seldom would you see either one of these two fellows make the same mistake twice. And the third thing, and this is particularly true with Bill Belichick because he was doing 2 jobs for us, you couldn't give either one of them enough work. They take any job and do it.
You mentioned that work, special teams, and defense during his time when he was with you before becoming defensive coordinator of those championship teams. And Coach, you mentioned the expertise and the attention to detail of both and the experience. Sometimes when you have 2 weeks for this game, you can think of everything under the sun and get it in there. Do you think their experience with the Super Bowl will help them not over-prepare for the game here today?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Mike, there's a couple ways to do it. You can give it to the players all at once and then go back and review it slowly. So you go over it 2 or 3 times. Or you can give it to them piecemeal and spend a little more time on the segmented installation of what you're trying to do. But these coaches both know what pattern will work for their teams the best. So I'm sure that's what they chose. One thing you can be assured of, they will assume nothing and all bases will be covered.
And we know where they got that from. They got that from you. And, Coach, one other point, you mentioned it earlier, the sense of humor that each has, and we've seen more of that in their speeches at the podium and their public conversations this week than we normally do. Should we read anything into that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's their way of showing their players they're exuding confidence, and rightfully so. The Patriots have won 10 straight. I'm pretty sure they feel like they could win 11. And the Giants have played very well, beat the 3 division winners in a row there in the NFC. They're playing well, too. So I think the coaches are both confident and expecting their team to play their best game today.
Parcells is in the group. Belichick's in the group. Coughlin tries to get there. The very few men, the best ever, to win multiple Super Bowl championships. Coach, we'll talk to you during the 4 hours. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay,
turn the conversation now to the guys here. Thanks, Bill, to John and Jaws. And Jaws, we saw the shot of Tom Coughlin as an Eagles wide receiver coach. The quarterback of those Eagles was Ron Jaworski.
Yeah, I remember those days very well. You know, Tom Coughlin, the receivers coach, cutting his teeth in the NFL. And even back then, he was known as Technical Tom. You know, I can remember, Mike Quick coming in the huddle complaining about how Tom Coughlin wants that route precisely at 10 yards, not at 10.5, not at 9.5, not breaking with the wrong foot, and complained all the time. But eventually Mike Quick became an all-pro. And I think that's what separates Tom Coughlin, the coach and what he does as a coach and what he does for these players. 10 years from now, these guys remember that Tom Coughlin made them better football players. More importantly, they'll remember Tom Coughlin made them better men.
Hey, we've seen guys come around on Coughlin in his way. Antrell Roll, for example, unhappy early on with the way it was vis-a-vis his time in Arizona. Thought it was a little easier then. Now he's running around wearing a T-shirt during the preparation for the championship game of Tom Coughlin, the running back from his Syracuse days when he was in the backfield with Larry Zonka. You coached up against these guys. What do you admire about them?
Well, Bill Belichick and Tom Coughlin, we all know, are great at making game day adjustments. But just think of all the adjustments these two men have had and what a role it's played in their sustainability. They've had to adjust to new rules on the playing field. They've had to adjust to a new CBA that has impacted how they practice. They've had to adjust to new coaches on their staff. I don't know how many coordinators have come and gone. And they've made multiple adjustments with new personnel year in and year out. These are mentally tough guys that really know how to make adjustments.
And we're lucky enough to get the chance during the season, sit down before we do Monday night games. Love talking football with them because you always learn something new about how the game is changing. Coughlin and Belichick, guys who were assistant coaches on a Giants squad that won the Super Bowl, will try to win this Super Bowl against each other, something they did 4 years ago. Speaking of champions, the defending national champions, University of Connecticut, with some work to do and a tough one on the road to take on Louisville. Big Monday starts a great rivalry week, which continues in Texas with the Aggies and the Longhorns. Big Monday coming up on ESPN Monday night. We continue on Super Bowl Sunday on NFL Countdown.
Coming up.
I'm under contract with the Colts. I play for the Colts right now, and that's where I am right now.
He's been the headliner in his hometown Super Bowl. How the war of words between Manning and Irsay will affect the future of the franchise. Coming out as a team.
I just remember everybody just in a little commotion. And finally, I think I stood up and I said, hey, no, we want to go out as a team.
10 years later, we look at one of the moments that defined their dynasty.
Hey, this is Justin Timberlake.
This is Kobe Bryant. I'm Samuel L. Jackson. This is Jamie Foxx.
I'm Jeremy Piven. Big Snoop Dogg.
I'm Blake Griffin. Gerard Butler.
This is Patrick Kane.
This is Spike Lee. Kelly Slater.
David Beckham.
Terrell Suggs.
I'm Jamie McMurray.
I'm Ashton Kutcher.
I'm Tim Tebow.
I'm Sugar Shane Mosley.
Hello, Castroneves.
I'm Nick Jonas from the Jonas Brothers.
I'm Venus Williams.
Stephen Curry.
Tony Hawk.
And you're watching
Sports Center.
Sports Center.
Sports Center.
Sports Center.
Sports Center.
Banana.
Shannon.
Brady to throw. Oh, nice diving catch made in midfield by Rob Gronkowski. Gets up and moves still forward. Still going down the sideline. And finally tripped up inside the 15 to about the 11.
What we just witnessed was executed by a guy who is 6'6", almost 270 pounds.
Brady, touchdown, Gronkowski.
And there's the record. That's his 14th receiving touchdown, and he wants to keep that ball. Get it back. The most receiving touchdowns in a single season ever for a tight end by Rob Gronkowski.
This time over the middle, Gronkowski. Gronkowski off to the races. 40, 35, down to the 30-yard line. Little pass over the middle, and it's caught by Gronkowski. Still on his feet. 10-5, touchdown.
Good Gronk. Kerrigan, the rookie, a big, strong guy, and I mean a really strong guy, just gets shed by Gronkowski.
When I saw the rundown today, I knew it was going to be a good day.
Feeling good about this.
We're out like a kid.
It's a great head.
It's almost salon perfect.
Ooh.
Got a little crazy here.
We've become the most violent show on television. I am unaffected by this.
Merry Christmas! I'm gonna need some pep. Holy moly!
Top 10 every week.
Oh, that was a good day.
Don't miss Sports Nation, weekdays on ESPN America.
Welcome back to this special Super Bowl edition of Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by IBM.
A win today would give Tom Brady his 4th Super Bowl title, tying the record for a starting quarterback. The Steelers' Terry Bradshaw was the first quarterback to win 4 Super Bowls, leading Pittsburgh to wins in Super Bowls 9, 10, 13, and 14. It still seems remarkable, doesn't it? 49ers legend Joe Montana matched Bradshaw when he threw 5 touchdown passes in the 49ers' 55-10 win over the Broncos in Super Bowl 24, giving Montana and San Francisco a 4th Super Bowl title. Troy Aikman won all 3 of his Super Bowls in a 4-year span, leading the Cowboys to championships after the 92, 93, and 95 seasons. Brady has also won 3, quarterbacking the Patriots to 3-point wins in Super Bowls 36, 38, and 39. Today will be his 5th Super Bowl start, tying John Elway's Super Bowl quarterback record. Being a part of history, part of the biggest day of the NFL year, why all these folks are here to feel it. And it's been such a great week here in downtown Indy. And of course, perhaps the biggest story of the week has been the status of Patriots record-setting tight end Rob Gronkowski. Let's go back to Ed Werder, who joins us from the Patriots team hotel. Ed, so here it is. It's finally D-Day. What do the Patriots expect with Rob today?
Well, Susie, you know, Rob Gronkowski describes the Super Bowl as a once-in-a-lifetime game, which is obviously not necessarily so when Tom Brady's your quarterback and Bill Belichick's your head coach, but it does explain why Gronkowski's been so diligent getting treatment for his high left ankle sprain, morning, noon, and night. As Coach Belichick has described it, Gronkowski had only 1 significant practice since the injury, but said he's been attending meetings, using visualization techniques, and preparing mentally. One Patriots teammate, speaking of Gronkowski, told me it's the Super Bowl, so you play, and if you can go 75 plays, that's what you do. Aaron Hernandez expects the Gronk to be productive no matter his physical limitations today.
If he was walking out there on the field, he'd still be effective because he's going to cause attention. And it's not about people staying with him, because I know people are like, oh, maybe a linebacker or safety will be able to cover him now, but can they reach up to his 7-foot arm reach and make that play where Tom Brady puts the ball?
Well, Brady threw to his tight end 63 more times this regular season than any other quarterback. And in Week 9 against the Giants, Brady targeted Gronkowski 14 times, the most of his brief career. Gronkowski and Hernandez are always going to be significantly involved in the Patriots' game plan, but Susie, that's amplified even more when they think their opponent has a weakness in terms of covering them, and that's what they think about the Giants.
And Ed, it's that ability to use the tight ends and the running backs in harmony so the defense doesn't really know what to expect. What are your expectations for Gronkowski?
Well, I don't think he's going to be 100%. He's going to be hampered a little bit on that ankle. So I think this is a huge problem for the New England Patriots because of how they use Gronk. I mean, he's such a big part of the passing game and the running game. In Week 9, they try to go big with Vollmer at right tackle, Solder at a tight end position, Solder's an offensive lineman, and then using Gronkowski. You know, do you want to waste Gronkowski early in the game blocking like that if you go big? Because there's a lot that goes on if he's got to push off that ankle and block Justin Tuck or some of those front fours. So, or do you just take it easy on him, take that responsibility out of the game plan, spread him out, and just have him be a receiver?
Well, just being on the field, he gives them great system diversity. And you heard Hernandez talk about it. When he's on the football field, it creates matchups for other people. But the biggest thing Gronk brings you is he's a point producer. 21 touchdowns he's accounted for regular season in the playoffs. So my concern is in the second half in the red zone. It's a 31-minute halftime, as you know. It's long. That ankle has a time to stiffen up. You come out in the second half, you have a red zone possession, you know how crucial it is to read the guy's body language, the little nuance that goes in with feeling a receiver in the red zone to get it a touchdown. I'm concerned with that.
Another issue would be his age. I mean, he's in the Super Bowl. He's hurt. How you recover, it takes a veteran kind of atmosphere, a veteran kind of guy to be able to, I think, understand the nuances of how I should play hurt. How, you know, I'm 65%, 70%. It's going to get worse throughout the game. To your point, you know, he's new at this, and he's Tom's guy. I mean, this is 14 touchdowns, 39 for the year for Tom. Down inside the red zone where this game will be won or lost, Tom is going to have to be Superman. Again, like he was earlier in his career, I have to concoct ways through tactics to figure out a way to get in the end zone, because I think even Rob at 75%, with a young player like that, I don't know how he's going to turn that into, you know, a guy that's been around a long time would turn that into 90%. He'd figure out ways, the wily ways of running routes or being careful. I think that he's going to maybe just get 75%. Whatever that is to Gronk, he's not going to get more.
We heard Chris talk about we're expecting no huddle atmosphere, too, for the Patriots. What about his conditioning? He hasn't practiced. His conditioning, no matter how much you've ridden the bike over
You haven't done a lot of running on that ankle.
Exactly. You're going to be winded.
Right, 2 weeks. 2 weeks since he's been able to play games since the AFC Championship game. And you talked about experience and knowing how to handle it. Dwight Freeney a couple years ago certainly experienced, and he got hit by that halftime thing. That's what caught him off guard. He came back after halftime, was just 30% of where he wanted to be after halftime. Well, there's something else that has caught our attention with the Patriots also today, because last night the Patriots made a move. They released wide receiver Tyquan Underwood and brought up another player, a defensive end, from the practice squad. Let's bring Ed Werder back in. Ed, what can you tell us about why the Patriots made this move last night?
Well, Susie, no matter how heartless it might seem for Bill Belichick to release a player the night before the Super Bowl, I'm told that nobody here at the team hotel is upset because the players trust their head coach is fulfilling his ultimate responsibility, winning the game. It seems unfair to cut wide receiver Tyquan Underwood, but he was virtually certain to be inactive. I'm told Chad Ochocinco inactive for the AFC Championship game and on the field for just one play this postseason, will be in uniform today and have several chances to make plays against the Giants. So with the Patriots playing their first indoor game since the preseason, Belichick's been concerned about the conditioning of his players in a long game, and that explains his determination to create a deeper rotation on the defensive line, so he promoted defensive end Alex Silvestro, who can also replace Rob Gronkowski on some special teams, and one person here explained that Belichick is merely swapping a wide receiver who wouldn't have played for a defensive lineman who will, and Susie, those are the kinds of moves that Belichick's been making the day before games all season.
And Underwood also took the high road on this. He tweeted this last night: "I've been through a lot, but there are people in this world with more serious problems, so I can't hang the head. Thank you, Lord, #blessed." And he also tweeted, "Good luck to the New England organization, the coaches, and all my teammates, #PatsNation." But Ed used the word that I think a lot of us thought of when we heard this, Teddy: heartless. How did it strike you?
No. This is what it is with the New England Patriots. They're constantly making adjustments all the way to game time. I remember before Super Bowl 39. I mean, the Friday before the Super Bowl, we're making coverage adjustments. You know, after 2 weeks where you think you have everything down, we're thinking to ourselves, man, this is Friday. You know, all of a sudden we're going through an adjustment. But this is strictly Bill Belichick remembering the problems that his defenses had in domes in second halves of big games. Super Bowl 38 versus the Carolina Panthers. It started out being a defensive struggle. No one could score in the first half. The second half, defenses start to wilt, and the offenses go up and down the field. 2006 AFC Championship game versus the Indianapolis Colts. Defensive front started having issues with cramping and fatigue. And the whole next season, Coach Belichick let everyone know about it, about not being in shape for those championship games in domes where that temperature can get a little bit hotter. So having another defensive lineman along that defensive front, that's what he's thinking about. And I'm sure he'll make more adjustments before game time also.
And Ed made this point: this is their first dome game. So it is something that both teams have to be concerned about. It's something I discussed with Justin Tuck, that they've been really, really conscious for the last couple of weeks of really hydrating. And someone to watch out for, JPP, who pretty much has one speed, go fast all the time. They've got to keep him under control, although he is a Florida boy. Tuck says he should probably be okay. Tuck, just one of the many guests we had on NFL 32 this week here in Indianapolis, and we'll be right back again tomorrow to talk about all the post-game from the Super Bowl. We're here all off-season on NFL 32. That's weekdays, 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
As a kid, you dreamed to play in a Super Bowl.
We are fortunate in our playing careers if we have one great moment.
I knew that they probably thought that I was going down. Put the old 3.5-inch vertical jump on them and went right over the top.
Every game should be a rival game.
It's a game of attitude. Both teams are highly competitive. It's a smash-mouth football game.
They try to be the bullies on the block.
Measuring a man against a man.
Clash of the Titans. It's a coin flip.
Just gets the juices flowing.
Doesn't matter what the records are.
Whenever you can beat them on their home field, that's great.
Because you shut up all the fans.
There's so much hatred there.
It's just who can take whose punch the longest.
You know you got to win this one.
This is the game you don't want to lose.
And that's what a rivalry is.
Good luck.
Super Bowl 20.